only ledge in the park, so you have to hit it like this. You might be wondering why I feel pop, shove, a tail grab in the middle of that line. Actually, you probably don't, because you probably saw the title of this video, unless it did really bad and then I changed it. Basically, today I want to just kind of explore the reason that a lot of tricks are just lame. And I feel like a lot of people who are first getting into skateboarding don't really understand that. I feel like when you first get into skateboarding, you're looking more at difficulty and flashiness more so than like why people dub things like bad skateboard tricks. All skateboard tricks are fair game. There is no wrong way to skateboard. Skaters preach that all the time until you do a trick that they don't like, they'll like attack you for it. Like people take skateboarding way too serious. But what I'm going to do in this video is try to explain reasons why people feel a certain way about a lot of tricks. And we'll start off with tricks like pop, shove, tail grabs. The reason that pop, shove, tail grabs are particularly disliked is it's a pretty easy trick to get your hands on. You can learn it pretty early in skating without having that much control, and they're really easy to like blast out of stuff and go higher with. And it tends to end up in the hands of people who want to be more flashy with skateboarding. So they'll go to the skate park and they'll sort of like the Venice skate park approach to skateboarding, where you're trying to do tricks that would be like flashy and look cool to people who don't skateboard, but people who've been skating for a while. They can look at a trick like that and be like, oh, I know that's easy, and you're spamming that trick because you think it looks hard. Please stop. This also goes with like finger flips and Benihanas and other tricks that you can learn kind of early on that are easy to push to like the flashy level, but you can learn. I mean, they're like fun. Like it's fun to go like high with grabs and stuff like that. But it's when people start doing it for other people's approval that people tend to get into trouble. Like it's almost like you have to intentionally let people know like, hey, I'm joking before you go and try that trick, which is so lame and so dumb. You should be able to do any trick that you want to do. But I think any trick that you do at someone to like show off or be flashy is like a no-no. Just those are like kind of common culprits. He's like really easy to exaggerate, tweaky grab. Oh God.
Oh, there it was.
So there is this other kind of important unwritten rule that if you're trying to do like the right trick, keep this in mind. And that is whenever you do a trick, for whatever reason, skateboarding has decided, and I think it has to do with like showing control and dominance over your skateboard. When you do any trick and you ollie into it, you want to at least come to a point where you are level. More so, you want to be tweaked down. And a good example of this is wheelie grinds, right? Like that is like a grind that you just do this into. I think a part of the reason that it seems very ugly is because you're mobbing your ollie into it. Like 5-0 is one trick that you kind of mob your ollie into, but you actually have to ollie high enough to like get onto the ledge, which kind of shows like control over it that way. And if you watch most people 5-0, they don't go like this. They usually like they'll ollie, level it out, and then set down 5-0. It's easier to aim that way. So I do think that's like kind of like an interesting rule. When someone does like an ollie, here, I'll just do 2 ollies with the Euro got. Like I feel like most skaters will agree that the second one looks way more cool because it shows control. And there's this line that's drawn where like showing control almost always makes things look better. And the exception to the rule is when someone lands something out of control, when they're kind of a controlled skater. Like when you add so much danger slash speed slash sketchiness to a trick and someone's trying to control it and they land it anyways out of control, I think that is like one of the coolest things to watch. Like watching Grant Taylor do like a huge frontside ollie and go to do a disaster and accidentally hang up and come in anyways. Like, yeah, he was like kind of out of control, but his control is what made him like get away with it. I think that is like the exception. But when you watch skaters like who haven't really like learned how to manipulate their board to the feet the way that they want, a lot of times not only is it scary to watch, like watching someone like ollie out a handrail where they're just kind of like bobbing super far out and getting in like this and then setting it down. Like to me, not only is that like not pleasing to watch, it's really fucking scary. So yeah, I think like one of the big components to doing tricks that people don't dislike is just tweaking it. And for nollie kind of you have the exception though, because when you nollie, if you technically a mob nollie is the same as a tweaked ollie. But personally, I think it's really cool when someone does a nollie and then they tweak their feet this way, almost like that tuck knee style. I don't know if you ever see anyone do that. I can't do it. I'll try one. Like technically it's the tweak, but I think that's like one of those things where you can kind of get away with either.
Ooh.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but I want to try to get into something. I feel like I can go in there, Manuel. I feel like it's going to be hard not to 180 out. For some reason I think that one's harder. See, that one I think would be cool if I 180 out.
Switch nose manual.
I was supposed to try and switch manual, but I went to the wrong truck. That almost feels like it'd be easier.
Nice.
No, what?
I didn't see anything.
Neither did I. Try the switch manual. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I'll get that like 5 tries. Man, it kind of hurts my back to like lean that way out of that grind.
There it was.
I mean,
still rolling.
Right?
Still rolling.
That might be one of the worst tricks I've ever done. My lower back is like shit. I'll try one to bend a grind. That feels like it could be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. I don't want to put the effort into making it a thing. All right, so super combos, especially when they're like lame combos, you can do grind combos in a cool way. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna do a couple real random grind combos that just aren't the move. Probably the best trick I've ever done.
Front 5-0, front nose grind.
That actually seems like it'd be hard.
Nose manual.
There was nowhere to really go with that. What other ones are there? Oh God, I don't even want to try it. Actually, someone randomly requested that trick of me the other day. Quite possibly the worst trick ever. What's another one that's like, oh.
Oh, I got one.
You can tell me after this one.
I don't know, I really never see anyone do that, so.
Lip slide 50s?
Yeah, I don't really.
Pretty much lip slide to just about every regular grind. Not cool. What was your trick?
Front feeble 50s.
Oh, that one's kind of hard because you're locked in toe side.
Just say you can't do it.
I can't do it.
Okay.
Lucas does this. Oh, what about this one?
What about it?
Let me do it not shitty. Well, that's like impossible. Oh, this one.
I like don't see anybody doing these tricks except for like maybe 12-year-olds.
Go like, and go back to the front lip. Oh my God, I remember when I learned that trick. I did like that, front lip, to 360 flip out. And I was like, I'm onto something. Having no idea, like, there is such a thing as too much. Now that one's like a little of both. That's really poor taste tricks mixed with too much. The idea of like too much is like, just because you're upping the difficulty, if you're not doing it in a way that's gonna like look good, it's not a waste of effort. You can do those tricks and you can feel the achievement of like doing something very complicated. Just don't expect other skaters to wanna watch it and appreciate it. With a lot of tricks, you hear the statements like, I'd rather watch Gino push than watch skater X, Y, and Z's new video part. And that's because something looking aesthetically clean for most skaters trumps difficulty. To me, when I watch a really technical trick, like when I watch Tori Pudwell do kickflip back lip, to kickflip to back tail, to shove it out. To me, that's like in the same wheelhouse as watching Nyjah nollie back heel, switch 5-0 down a handrail. It's like so not relatable to me that I just don't care. Nyjah's part just came out the other day, and this isn't an example of doing too much, but it is an example of like something so difficult that I don't really relate to it, so I don't care. After I watched it, there was so much going on. It's a 12-minute part. I thought to myself, yeah, I'm gonna need to watch that again later to like try to appreciate it. And then like later came and I was like, I don't even want to watch it. It's really gnarly what he did, but personally that doesn't make me want to skate, so why am I gonna watch it? Like, I saw the tricks once, I appreciated them the first time, I don't need to see it again. Like, doing too much can also sometimes fall in the same category of by doing those flashy tricks, because it's just like, oh, why is he trying so hard? Granted, a lot of people don't realize that people try that hard because they really like pushing the difficulty of skating. Like, they really enjoy doing very difficult tricks. When you talk to someone like Mickey Pappas, you watch him like this is the process of like learning a really complicated flip in, flip out. To him, he does enjoy the whole process. Like, he's like having fun, like getting to the point. And like, yeah, it does sort of blur the line between like work because it's so difficult. But at the same time, like, if that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. I don't necessarily back shaming anyone for any type of trick. I think for every reason that someone would do something that's frowned upon, there is a counter reason that it makes sense to try to do that. Some people just enjoy different stuff. These are all like vague rules of thumb. There's an exception to like all these rules. Certain people can do certain tricks certain ways, and it's just like super rad. And of course, skateboarding is super subjective and opinionated, but I feel like that is sort of like the mainline takeaway from a lot of skateboarding tricks. It's very much is like showing control, not doing too much, like not skating in a way that seems show-offy, which sounds super stupid. Like, it sounds super dumb because some people are trying to do like the hardest skateboarding tricks, but it's almost like you have to do the hardest skateboarding tricks in the way that's cool. Once again, take any path you want. I'm just letting you know the main line's opinion on it. Another thing that can consider you kind of circusy is if you're trying too hard to be different. If you look at like someone like Louis Barletta, he did a lot of goofy tricks, But he like also switched backsmith to handrail. You know, he would do like frontside 360 kickflips downstairs. And I feel like you need to have the best of both worlds to like be considered like legitimate and also like skate different in this industry.